Ranger's Fury, Stormborn Saga Book 4, written by J.T. Williams. Copyright 2018. Part 1. Return to Taria. The ocean spray blew across the deck as on the tail of a storm, a young captain took his crew south. His name was Valrin, Stormborn of the glacial seas. His vessel was a realm ship of the Dwemhar, a lost race of incredible power who had tasked him with guarding the oceans of the north until a foretold time. But for a time, his business was to the south. A member of his crew desperately sought to find his son, if his son was even still alive. Fadis, Ranger of the North, who had spent his child's early years fighting in a war against the elves, had managed to secure his son a place with the elves when the truth of the land's events became known. He was a traitor to a king, and his once enemy became the safer place. That was 10 years ago. His son was essentially grown. He promised that he would return for his son, and he was making good on it now.
"Captain!"
a young woman shouted out.
"I see land ahead beneath what light from the waning moon reveals."
This younger woman was a Rusis named Bry, a being who appeared as if she were of the race of men, but could wield magic with just her hands, a significant skill of her race. Ruses were rare, an ancient race like the Dwemhar, but still very much in existence. She and Valrin cared much for one another, though they worked to keep that from the crew.
"We must move around the cape,"
another woman corrected her. This part Rusis woman was one of the few remaining people with Dwemhar blood. A power unlike any other across the oceans of continents, she had spent her entire life in a temple of the wind god, Dimn, learning to control her powers. Now she served the Stormborn, but she was not alone. Valrin turned the wheel over to one of the few others who ever guided the ship, a shadow elf from the east, Evurn. As the oldest of the crew and with a dark history himself, he was a powerful force to reckon with. He watched over Valrin and the others as a father, but he was also the strangest. Rossi didn't like that storm, he told Valrin. Rossi was his albino snake, and most of the crew felt the snake had more rights than they did. Rossi coiled down his arm and sat on the wheel of the Aela Sunrise. "Captain," Evurn said quite suddenly, "do we not need to move into the Vindus Sea regions?"
"Yes, that's where we go,"
Valrin said. "Well, as you can see, there is a great amount of fog we're going into. I suggest we move away from the fog. Find a safe harbor for now." Valrin saw...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?